Alright, welcome back to Xenogears. Hey, the young monster hasn't come back yet. What's he up to? Would it be too much to ask for you to call him for me?
Yes, you're the
No
employee.
problem.
Do it yourself.
He's probably whining and dining with the captain of the Thames.
After
Wait,
you
it's
kind of shunned him off.
I can't. It's your ship. You're a member of this ship, and you're his employee. Why not do it yourself, you lazy shit?
Well, remember, Sigurd is the first mate. He has to, hold the fort anyway.
Well, let's get someone who's actually a crew member to do it.
Don't you see, Faye is also a good friend. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, actually, no, we're about to actually get already to Bart. Remember, at the previous in the previous part, the captain actually asked Bart to go around and get wasted. So, well, we're about to see the results. Pray for his soul.
They came out, one after another. Slam, bam, crash. That's how it happened.
Hey Bart, Sigurd was asking about you.
Is he talking about 2010 at Square Enix?
Of course. Well, if you're not strong, you can't be a man of the sea. Yeah, check this arm out. Proof of the men of the sea.
Oh.
Well, I guess he's not too buzzed.
Good news.
Captain, your first mate is calling you.
Boy, he's interrupting our Men of the Sea story. That Hans, he's such an unrefined chap. What does he want now?
Our lady seems to have returned.
Our lady? Oh, you mean Elly?
Fool, why didn't you tell me earlier?
Full stop. Well,
Well, let's go.
Huh. And Ellie's back just fine. And
Remember, at the end of the previous part,
Yeah,
she
I
was
know.
actually let set free.
that said, are none of them a little, suspicious about this?
No, don't worry. Questions will be asked. Where's Elly? Where is she?
She's saying to the gear, she'll be along any time now.
You mean she was able to escape? Wow, Bart, you seem to have handled your alcohol very well. Well, it's good for you, right, Faye?
Ah, yeah.
All's well that ends well.
Elly, are you okay?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep,
was
not a
were you saying
scratch
yeah,
on
was responding
her.
to you or the line?
I probably should have inserted that clip from Resident Evil.
What's that submarine?
That is the submarine that your country was at war with.
Oh, you mean the Yggdrasil? It took a bad bashing, so now it's here at Thames for repairs.
I see. Can I rest for a while? I'm exhausted.
That's a good idea.
Faye, it's my ship. Oi, oi, she says she's tired. Let her rest.
But it's my ship, though.
Nobody cares, Bart. Well, I'm going.
It's not called the Elly Mobile.
Yes, it is.
Wait,
Now
what
it
was
is.
it called? The Elly
She
Mobile.
practically scrambles with a crayon.
I don't like this.
Bart, you're still...
No, It's not like that. She won't backstab us. I was raised around thugs and charlatans. I can tell just by looking in her eyes.
Then you accept Elly.
That's why I can't. She may be okay with it. But what about her family back home? Do you think she can live with that? Can she do that? Just get rid of her family? She has to decide. Ellie is probably worrying about that. We can't involve people with attachments.
Bart.
Well, do whatever you want. I can see where Bart is coming. Okay, I can see where Bart is coming from. Like, the whole thing that, yeah, think about it from Ellie's perspective. what she's essentially performing is high treason, which could alienate her from her family. However, my bigger thing is that is nobody seriously suspicious of the fact that Elly was just, able to get away, as far as they know?
Well, again, questions will be asked, but for the time being, let's play some car games for Pedro's delight.
So,
But basically, like I mentioned in the previous part, you can play at any party member as you want, and each of them do have a winning or a losing quote, verbal voice-acted quote, at the end. So that's pretty cool. Yes, Jova?
Is there any other benefit from, playing as a certain character for this card game?
No. Play as the one that you want, basically. But in the meantime, Jova, you did want to ask me something in the previous part.
Right. So, as you mentioned, there are a lot of bad guys as we're coming to see. New ones being introduced here and there. And that's all cool. However, as you did mention, with, with the Emperor Kislev, that was the last we saw of him, so I do have to ask, for as many villains as this game has, how much of them are actually dealt with and how much are just, dropped off to the wayside? Again, I'm not saying that it's inherently a bad thing if they're all dropped down by the wayside, but it is a big crying shame. Someone
from the villains that we have seen, not a very substantial amount of them, like around 4 or 5 at tops, those actually kind of disappear for the plots, but they're all basically very minor characters. So it's more of a case of you can understand that due to the circumstances. Again, trust me, Jova, due to the circumstances of the plot, even if character disappears, you can kind of guess what they might be up to. So even for a case of maybe a villain or anything that can get dropped out, you can also imagine.
That's Bart's voice.
Yes, that is Bart's voice.
That is not what I expected.
Oh
no!
I like Jova's voice better.
This was a rough time because remember Squaresoft was not really used to this voice acting kind of thing. Remember, the PS1 era only did not really was at that much voice acting. It was really an experimental era. Metal Gear was the groundbreaking game. But we did that Crash and Spyro, obviously, and some other example like Ape Escape, for example. But again, still a bit rough. But Metal Gear Solid was the one that tried to change the mold. We
have to remember that this was a time in gaming where video game voice acting, for the most part, was very amateurish. Like, most of the time will be the developers a lot of times doing the voices themselves.
Oh, I get that.
But ironically enough, it did pave instead the way for voice actors to rise. James Arnold Taylor's very first role was replacing Michael J. Fox as Milo Touch for the Atlantis video game, believe it or not. So there is that. So basically, the short answer to your question, Jova, simply put, is yes, but it's such a minimal part that it might be inconsequential. Basically, 95% of the villains are dealt with one way or another in that kind of way.
Okay. So Kislev was more like just an odd man out when it comes to him.
But that's the thing. The Kaiser is not really that of a villain anyway. Sure, he acted a bit grumpy or anything. But other than that, it was just the leader of his country. And remember, the whole conflict between Kislev and Avi is more of a misunderstanding at this point than anything. So
True. It's just like you mentioned, though, unfortunately, the Kaiser, they do raise up some story elements with him, but that scene is the last we see of him. And like you said, it really just stuff from Kislev did indeed get cut. So I was just wondering.
We have been mentioned 2 more times, 2 or more times after this. But yes, it's just a mentioning more than anything.
So essentially, most, if not all, the villains do get dealt with, or at the very least, you know, their last scene is
Again,
a proper conclusion of sorts.
I cannot guarantee you, Joe, that you will like how the villains are actually dealt with, because I think a lot of characters, you can imagine this type of story goes a bit all over the place in how some are handled. It's not basically as cookie cutter that says they fight, they die, they fight, they die, you know?
Oh, I get that. Oh, trust me, I get that. I'm just wondering, do you feel like we're going to have kind of the similar issues that we had with Legend of Mana, where for as great as a lot of storylines were, some were just bog standard and others had very unsatisfying conclusions, despite...
Well, you'll have to be the judge of that.
Oh, okay. I know that this is probably your opinion, but would you say that there's at least stuff that we need to watch out for that may, you know, just not feel like a proper conclusion?
I don't know. Like, again, you guys will able to be judged for yourself. Like I said also at the beginning, around in part 0, I think, or 1, this game is polarizing by nature. Either you really are into it or not. Due to how it was made and how it's actually constructed.
I can definitely get that. Like, this is one of those media games, and okay, to be fair, Square do have something of a history of technically padding their games out. Not necessarily in a bad way, because yes, technically the first part of the 7 remake is them essentially padding out what's the first tutorial area of the game. And yeah, honestly, I still enjoyed it. But I can get why some people would be annoyed at them conflating essentially Midgar into its whole game here and there. Because, you know, with that does come some connotations here and there. People who want to, you know, properly even out the venture may feel that this is getting a little too much, and others may feel that this is actually adding on more to it here and there. Again, it really is a matter of perspective here, but it is technically a level of padding. It's just that padding doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It can in fact be a good thing when it's masked well enough.
Alright, if you beat all the available card players on the Thames, you unlock the Queen, I think she is actually called. Again, kinda like the ones of Final Fantasy VIII, Triple Triad, but without having any particular special rules, it's just it's your most difficult opponent of the one of the Thames. But she's not the strongest player on the Thames right now. Actually.
Really?
No, the one that we fight at the end of the part, it actually is.
Don't tell me it's the captain.
At first I thought it would be, considering, he seems to be into that, but surprisingly, no. You will able to see what this person is, who this person is, sorry.
Oh god, it's actually Elly. She was secretly the Queen of Cards truly this all along.
Of course. It makes perfect sense.
Yes, her going off to rest, that's just so she can change into her alter ego, the true leader of the cards.
1, 2.
There we go.
Come on already! The day's almost over!
Seriously? Like, okay, look.
Let me check. I think I did mention who Bart's voice actor is previously, but let me check again just to be sure, because I don't think I mentioned what else he did.
I think I lost. You get this. Let's play again. I feel like with Bart's voice, they're going for the dude bro skater if he were in like one of those apocalyptic 90s action flicks, essentially. Like, that voice just screams extreme but also deep and dark and edgy at the same time, which doesn't really fit Bart's look, honestly. I don't know, like, well, Bart's look seems more like a suave pirate guy as opposed to, again, the gruff voice they have going for him.
Anyway, the deploy is actually a very important accessory, because if you haven't learned all the combos, equipping it to a gear allows you to perform any kind of combo that you want, no real strings attached. But again, it occupies a slot of the accessory, which could be used for better stuff, because one of the problems is that you have a limited set of accessories that you can equip, so you have to strategize, before fights. Bart is voiced by Dave Fouquet for the English dub, which still gets work to this very day in video games like Diablo 4, for example. example. Anyway, I'll mention more quickly because our last opponent, hold on,
Yes.
is Big Joe.
Is that where this is
Hey,
going?
hombre, you disturbing our amore time.
Oh God, what are we walking in on?
See? Maybe you need some manners, muchacho.
In a card game!
And yeah, for some reason, GameFAQs describes Joe as a pushover, but trust me, not really, because his AI is said to be super fast. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. So.
Dude, are you interfering with me making out with my girl? That's it. I challenge you to a children's card game.
Still, but Joe is managing to go above and beyond through the world. How does he do that?
Although he's got a terrible hand there.
Anyway, Dave Coquette has done, again, mostly video games, mostly additional voices. I can't... Oh! Get this, Pedro. He voiced well, again, we know the identity, but he voiced the Man on Fire in MGS5.
Interesting. Well, well, this voice does fit better for that character over Bart. So
but yes, he has mostly been just supporting stuff in video games. I don't recognize any particular important roles aside from the one I mentioned. But yeah, it's still cool that he has, you know, still getting more to this day.
And then something goes wrong with the cars and the referee's head gets cut off.
No.
Wow, Faye.
Look how fast the cars are going along there.
No, dude, I was responding to what Faye said.
I was echoing.
I lose. Here's your present. Adios.
Huh, the guy's such a good sport.
The long dark coat, a very good armor, actually, accessory for the time being for your, you know, on-foot characters.
So let me get this
Dust
straight.
in the wind.
So the guy actually rewards us after we beat him at a card game after walking in on him having sex. Big Joe is such an enigma. Like 1 minute, like seriously, 1 minute the guy seems like the world's biggest scumbag. Otherwise, he seems awfully chivalrous, surprisingly.
Again, I will explain what actually is Cut's backstory is the last time when we meet him, but it's a long way now for the time being, so...
I forget, was he originally supposed to be a playable character as well?
No, but he was supposed to have... It was intended always for side quest purposes, but to have, you know, something a bit bigger, you know, attached to that. But again, it will be more apparent once I explain the last time we meet him. For the time being, see for the next part where, well, we just decide what to do once the Yggdrasil gets repaired. See ya.
Yeah.
Yep.